Hi, you guys. We're going to get started on a message for you. Let's see. The Death. You're experiencing external change. Okay, so there could be change happening outside of self. Right? I'm seeing complete renewal, abrupt change, total overhaul. Breakups could be significant. Over and out energy. A new start is here though. You're being encouraged to let it go. I'm seeing endings and I'm also seeing beginnings. Scorpio energy is significant, as well as the planet of Pluto, which ties to regeneration and transformation. Angel number 13 could be significant, and angel number 4. Okay. Tell me more about this energy. This is your overall energy right now. Okay. On the back of the deck, we had the Ace of Coins, and what's coming out now, confirming more of the energy, is the 7 of Coins. All right. Know that good things take time. Some of you all could be experiencing pregnancy. Taurus energy could be significant. This is an energy of perseverance, long-term view, coming to fruition, harvest and ripen, investments and patience. Okay? Whatever is going on right now, I feel like you're just needing patience if you're not having it already. All right, this can tie to some type of investment, whether it's financially or whether it's just tying to the earthly plane. Angel number 888 is significant. And 7. You could be encouraged to be perseverant during this time, or you're a very persevering individual. You went through a lot of things and you're currently experiencing some type of external change as well. So you could be very perseverant at this time. If you're wondering how you should look at things or a timeline for something, I'm seeing it should be based on a long-term viewpoint. Okay, maybe being in this time right now, you can't really see the good of something, or what you're putting into a situation. Like, I'm seeing growth here, I'm seeing progress. You may not see the results right now, but you will most definitely see it in the long run. Something is coming to fruition. You could be harvesting something. I'm seeing something like ripen. Maybe some of you guys are creating a garden. Maybe you're encouraged to water your personal garden. But whatever is going on, you're being encouraged to have patience. Page of Cups is coming out. So when it's time to relationships, creativity, emotions, the Page of Cups is here, which can talk about a child, okay? Or it can talk about romantic gestures and intuition. This can also be a character or a characteristic that ties to a youthful dreamer, an idealist, someone who's naive, psychic. All right, I'm seeing something about your inner voice here. When it comes to external change, listen to your inner voice, or you're being guided by your inner voice and inner compass. I'm seeing that there's some type of love offer here. I'm seeing beauty. Whatever this is something that may be a beautiful thing. This can be romance. This can be a love offer. This could be a pregnancy. Okay? You can also be receiving messages at this time, or you're going to be receiving some type of message in terms of this external change. You could be a sensitive, spiritual, artistic individual, Maybe you're, I'm seeing musical is here. All right, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces is very significant. Confirm more of the Page of Cups. Whatever this Page of Cups energy is, it may tie to end of a chapter, invisible forces, emotional mastery, and decisive moment. So it could tie to life cycles, karma, destiny, chance, good luck, expansion, something being timed. So fortune, change, and fate. Achievements, success, sense of belonging, accomplishments, integration, wholeness, fulfillment, and travel. Whatever this is tying to, I feel like you're very strong. You're being very, very strong and courageous when it comes to this. You could be a very wise individual. You could be very highly intuitive and self-aware. I feel like you're going to be attracting someone who's also in this amazing energy as yourself. You know, very diplomatic, artistic, highly intuitive, kind-hearted individual, you know, emotionally balanced. And maybe whatever this is, that's an external change, whether it's romance, pregnancy, whatever this new beginning is. I feel like some of you guys may have experienced some type of ending for there to be this like type of new beginning, or maybe you're experiencing a new beginning and an ending like at the same time. But do know that endings do bring about new beginnings. So if you had a breakup and then you ended up having a pregnancy, you know, that could be something. Or if you ended up experiencing something in your life to where you had to let something go, or you're being encouraged to let something go, there's a new start that's going to happen afterwards. You know, sometimes you can't really see things from a certain point of view because you're currently experiencing it. You know, sometimes you don't look at things from a 1 year from now, 7 years from now. You know, I feel like this is actually going to take you to have to look at things from like 7 years from now. And everything that's happening right now, if your life is not the way that you want it, it won't be like that forever. Eventually it's going to change, it's going to get better, you know, so don't forget that. If some of you guys, this is time to romance, you may not be having the best romantic love life, but letting something go and choosing yourself, this is going to help with healing, development, growth, progress on your healing journey. And eventually you're not going to be, you know, in a heartbroken energy anymore. Eventually you're going to move on and you're going to attract someone who is more appropriate to be in your life, you know, because maybe you already learned the lessons that people who are immature emotionally are just not for you. So now you're, with the wisdom that you've obtained from going through those tough times, you're now able to differentiate, use your discernment. Okay. So yeah, like I said, this external change could really be tying to like your life being affected on the outside. You know how a lot of things happen on the inside, there's internal change, but I feel like this is most definitely talking about external change, things that are happening in your life but outside of self. It can still tie to self, of course, like it's your life, is related to you, so of course there may be growth or change within self, but I'm seeing like a change in your reality. It could be something major for a lot of you guys. Yeah, but something most definitely has ended, and I feel like it's not something bad though. I just feel like it's just the end of a chapter, you know, and you're coming into another chapter of your life. Yeah, maybe something is kind of testing your faith a bit. Maybe some of y'all are thinking about, maybe I'm not strong enough, or maybe this is just an example, because honestly the strength card came out in upright. But I mean, maybe sometimes you still feel, even though you are a strong individual inside and out, maybe sometimes we could be our worst critics and we could just feel so much that we're not as strong as we think. But in reality, you are, you know? I feel like you have invisible forces alongside of you, right? But good things take time. I'm seeing romantic gestures here. So don't be so quick to rush in a relationship, especially if you know that this person is not of chivalry. They're not noble. They have a lot of growth and healing to do. We don't want to attract people who are not on our level, okay? That's only going to hinder you. But if you're just this person that's naive and gullible, which a lot of times you can be when it comes to your romantic life or your relationships, then you may have to bump your head and experience that, right? But as I said, we all are different. Some of you guys could be experiencing this already. This could be talking about something that has happened in the past, present, or future. Maybe some of you guys haven't experienced it just yet, so you're just now hearing the information. But whatever this is, I feel like it's going to bring complete renewal, and it's going to be something that's an abrupt change. Okay, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's you becoming pregnant, whether like it's some type of financial investment or something tying to the earthly plane. There's something here. Okay, messages. So I don't feel like you're stagnant. I don't feel like the situation that's happening is of stagnancy either. I feel like it's really I feel like it's something that could be worth something. Like, I don't feel like it's like not worth the effort or not worth your time, right? And use your discernment, because if you think I'm talking about a person that's toxic to your life, no, I am not. All right, so you will just have to use your discernment and apply the message to how it fits in your life. If it doesn't apply, let it fly to the next individual. Any messages about the situation? All right, yeah, so I'm seeing something about liberation, exposed, and chance. All right, this is unlock happiness. It says be vulnerable and open yourself to real love. Okay, on the back of the deck it says sweet home. So once again, it could be tied to foundations, family life, lasting love, marriage, you know, stuff like that. It says making a good home life or settling down. So yeah, whatever this is, it's most definitely tying to offers, relationship. Like, it all really depends on who you are. And for a lot of you, if you're not experiencing this yet, then this is something that's to come. Okay. Yep. Attraction. It says desire, power, allure. It says having great chemistry or able to manifest love. So I feel like if you're connected with someone, you can have great chemistry with this person. All right. And if you are a person that's manifesting love, you're actually attracting this because of who you are. You know, you're not someone that's narcissistic. You're not someone that's the opposite of being able to love others and receive love. So I feel like that's really why you're attracting it. Sometimes we don't make the best choices in our life, and we may choose someone who's less qualified to be in our lives. So remember, you have free will. The first opportunity that comes your way does not mean that it will be a good one. So the first person to show you attention, or hey, can I get your number? Be mindful of love bombing. Be mindful of people who are literally not on your level, okay? And when I say that, I don't mean, oh, you're better than everyone in the world, but I mean, You are a perfect individual. You know, they say you're not perfect, but I feel you're perfect. Okay, especially because you don't dish out hurt into the world, and no matter like what you've been through, you're still a person that um you know, knows how to love people and receive it. So I feel like that's perfect because it's very rare, or at least that's what it seems like. But in reality, it's not rare to receive because you are already in this energy. So you'll be able to scope out who's for you, who's not for you, what's a blessing, what's not a blessing, you know. So just trusting your intuition with whatever this is, and know that good things take time, and that whatever this is tying to, it can have something to do with your love life. Whether it's romantic, whether it's you birthing something, whether it's tying to your individual self. And it doesn't have to just be relationships, it can also be investments, financial offers, or beginnings, right? So yeah, just trusting your intuition. I feel like you're receiving messages, intuitive messages for sure. You could be clairvoyant. All right, but progress, not perfection, okay? Patience is key. Once again, I'm going to repeat this. Whatever is going on in your life right now, say for instance, if you broke up with someone and you've become pregnant by them, but something is telling you to keep the child, but logically, and even out of a space of resentment or bitterness, which can tie to emotions, you're probably operating in a space of haste and current regret, right? I feel like you should take yourself out of the present situation and look at things from a long point view, right? Because say for instance, you'll eventually heal from that connection. And then once you actually conceive a child, you probably have this motherly instinct that you probably never felt before, which will provide you more peace. And having a kid is something that's really huge because it may change your life drastically for the better as well, you know? So that's an example. Maybe some of you guys are going through that, but I feel like it's just all about how you look at things, and you know, it's not happening to you, but for you, right? Little do you know, this could be something that can actually change your life for the better and unlock some type of happiness within you, you know? So it really all depends on who you are, how the message resonate, whether it's financial or not. But yeah, it's pretty much the message I'm seeing. Yeah, this is endless love here. So some of you guys are most definitely attracting a soulmate. This is somebody, this is going to be a committed connection. You're going to become engaged. There's going to be a wedding, whether it's a spiritual marriage or a literal 3D plane marriage where you have documentations and everything like that. But yeah, I'm seeing endless love here. And trust me, you will know who this is about. Because if it's someone who's already hurt you and they're just literally not giving divine masculine, divine feminine, then we're not talking about them. Okay? That's probably what you're being encouraged to let go of so that you can come into the new beginning with a person that's more qualified to love you. Because this is going to be something that's going to last like forever. Okay? And some of y'all may find that hard to believe now because your childhood dreams has been shattered and you no longer believe in the fairy tale happiness. But it exists. You just got to connect with people who are like you, not people who love bomb you and, you know, whatever the case may be. Okay? But if this is time to pregnancy, then I feel like this is going to be something that, of course, you'll commit to or encouraged to commit to. I don't want to say encouraged to commit to because I'm a firm believer on projection. Like, I feel like you should do whatever you feel. But I know a lot of times, if this is a pregnancy, this lady is pregnant. Here. Dang it. This lady is pregnant. You know, I feel like just take your time. You know, it may not be as bad as you think. Because some people, they feel like, oh, this is a gift from God, but not everybody feels that way. You know, some people lose faith along the way, their relationship with God, you know, a lot of things, and they just start believing that abortion is the way. I don't judge people. Do what you do. That's why I said I don't want to project and tell you, oh, you're being encouraged to commit to this, because you are the God of your own life, right? I'm not the person in your life that plays God for you, you know. So I'm not going to tell you what's right and what's wrong. That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what's a good choice, what's a bad choice. But I can help you trust more in your intuition and yourself, okay? So whatever you choose to do with your life, that's you. But if you're one of those people who does want a child, but you probably conceived the child with a person who's probably a narcissist, someone who you broke up with, somebody who abandoned you, like, you know, that type of stuff. Because some people go through relationships, a pregnancy, and they're happy. They're in their soft girl era. You know, they're living the dream, honey. But then you have other people who are, oh, there's postpartum depression. There's prenatal depression. There's all type of stuff, you know, because they don't have a supportive and empathetic partner or whatever the case may be. So this can be someone who's very motherly, who has the characteristics of being a great mother, but they're just looking at it from a today's point of view. Like, no, I don't like who the father is. No, I'm not in a space to where I feel like I want to carry this child. You know, I have dreams of being a model. I have this, you know. But when you stop focusing on the 1,000 reasons of why not to do something, start thinking about the reasons of, you know, to do things, especially if you want. Like, some people be actually wanting to still have the child, even if it's not by someone that they want to by, even if it's a toxic connection. It's just something deep down inside of them, maybe their intuition, maybe who they are at spirit or soul level, and they just come into a time to where they're conflicted and confused, and they feel like, well, maybe I'm doing me and the unborn child a justice by not having it, or giving it up, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So once again, I'm a firm believer on pro-choice. You do what you want with your own body, but sometimes something could really be really good for you, and it just doesn't seem like it right now. Like, the challenges, the hard lessons you've learned, like, it may not have felt great, but in the end you came out becoming wiser and coming into a version of yourself that's, you know, upgraded, you know, because I feel like you've always been top tier, right? But you've just been evolving. There is growth, you know, so you're just coming into the most highest version of yourself, like the best version of yourself, right? So maybe this could be something that's really good for you, right? Whether you're leaving someone behind, there's better on the way. Whether you conceive a child and you feel like this is a bad thing, it may not be as much as a bad thing as you think. You know, that's what I'm basically saying. So whatever external change that you're experiencing, look at things from the brighter side. I do feel like nothing, you know, lasts forever in terms of, oh my gosh, my life, you know, Collective's life is ruined, or life is not going as planned. It won't be like that for long, okay? So you have an endless love coming in. You're attracting a soulmate energy, and you're just being encouraged to unlock happiness, or maybe whatever this is going to help you unlock happiness. And this could be tied to domestication, you know, family situations, financial situations, love overall. Really all depends on who you are. All right, now I'm gonna start repeating myself, but that's the message. All right, endings do bring new beginnings. You don't have to look at endings as a sad thing, a bad thing, especially if this is something that's tied to actual death in the family. Like if you've experienced like a passed over loved one, I understand that it does take time to heal. You know, just because you're in this depressional state, you're still grieving, it seems like you will never be okay. You won't be there for long. Eventually, things do get better, right? Maybe try uplifting yourself or doing creative pursuits, like something to help you find that happiness again, that joy. And always remember to not allow your happiness to be something that's obtained always from the outside, right? Some people like to use people to help fill that void of happiness. Some people like to use like materialistic things to fill that void of happiness, but it will never work that way. You know, you gotta heal, you gotta some things do take time, but if you're actually making progress, thank you, honey, then it won't take as much time as you think, right? Imagine not healing ever in life and you still hurt by something that happened 10 years ago. That's simply because you haven't healed from it, you know. So imagine if you actually did the healing work, you will probably be really, really good 3 years later, 2 years later, even 1 year later for most people, you know. So yeah, I feel like just it's all about how you look at things, you know, see the beauty in things, the beauty in yourself, the beauty in life, and I feel like you'll be all right. Because you're actually a successful individual, you know. Whatever this is, it may bring in some type of fulfillment. And once again, if this is tied to an external, like a death that happened in the family, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, uncle passed away, whatever it may be, you won't be in that space for long. Eventually you'll heal. All right, all you need is a little patience. All right, so be easy with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Taurus energy is here. All right. Yeah. We got control coming out. It says stepping up, and it also says steering. So you could be taking responsibility for both actions and emotions, or you're being encouraged to. Okay? Like, for instance, just because someone passed away in life doesn't give you a pass to be like this cruel, horrible person, right? Just because you're going through a heartbreak right now doesn't give you this pass or green light to just start hurting other people's hearts, right? Just because you're pregnant but you hate who the baby daddy is, but you actually do care to conceive a child, doesn't give you the green light to just try to I really don't know what example I can use for that one, because I honestly don't want to project on people. So I guess I'm going to leave it at those two examples. But yeah, any last messages? Okay, we got men's souls on the back. Yeah, remember we talked about complete renewal? This card is a card of renew and forgive and empathy. So it says love with purpose and heal with compassion. All right. This is the men's souls card. All right. And for those of you guys that this is tied to like some type of romantic connection, this is a card of waiting, compromise, and trust, right? Don't compromise your values and dreams and goals and like all of those things, right? What you want in a person, you can achieve, especially if you have those things within yourself. Especially if you're waiting for it. Remember, we said good things take time. Sometimes you got to heal. Sometimes in order to come into this true love, you know, sometimes it does take time. Sometimes you're not going to be like that other lucky person who got married at 18 and they're still married and they're 35 years old. You know, sometimes things just take time, and sometimes not everybody is for you. Not everybody is meant to be the person that's going to be in your life forever. So sometimes it's important to just wait. You know, don't instantly try to get yourself involved in a connection, okay? Because you need to consider long-term issues before you commit. Like if you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally immature, we don't want to commit to that, okay? Because you gotta pay attention to the long-term view, right? Remember we talked about that. See, before, if you just go based off your own experiences, last time I checked, when you didn't pay attention to the long-term issues that could happen in the connection because you were bypassing the red flags, you ended up getting your heart broken. That wasn't fun, right? So it's just, there are people out here who are very romantic, who are very much men or women of chivalry, people who are noble. Okay, it's just you may not have met them, and that doesn't mean that they don't exist. Okay, so maybe some of you guys should get out and travel, because maybe a lot of great things happen when you're traveling out of the state, you know, from city to city, out the country even. Like, sometimes you just got to take a chance and do things that a lot of other people probably won't do, right? And maybe this is how you'll connect with people who are on your level anyway, because if you out here indulging in creative pursuits, you may attract another creative person. If you out here traveling, you may attract another person who's open-minded and free-spirited, and you know, they're not closed off, and they're not living a life of dullness, and you know, I don't know. But you know, do the things you love, heal, be patient, all right? And just pay attention, choose wisely, okay? Because at the end of the day, you do have free will. I told you, not everything that tries to pop up in your face and how you're beautiful. No, that's love bombing, okay? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how they come off. Like, if they're coming off like they're trying to get into a connection with you, and they're, stop, Jonesy, no, and they're doing all these things, then that's pretty much love bombing. But if they come off like, oh my gosh, I just had to stop and tell you that you are beautiful, wow, you know, that's just them being really, really nice, and whatever the case may be. All right, it really all depends. Trust in your intuition, trust your wisdom, okay? You know best. But yeah. Ooh, look, the Emperor on the back. They go to Divine Masculine, honey. This is somebody that gets it done. They're action oriented, okay? They're very protective. This is an authority figure, somebody who's a leader, okay? They could be a father, or this could be like father figure, you know, but it's given the Divine Masculine, okay? This is Aries energy as well. The number 6 could be significant. The number 10, and I already said the other angel numbers earlier. If you can't stay to watch this video fully, or if you missed the beginning, it will be uploaded to my YouTube. All right, any last messages? Judgment. This is the card of decision. All right, it says heeding the call. So maybe you guys are coming into this energy of surrendering. You're coming into this energy of being decisive. I'm seeing something about a new spiritual story. Maybe you've had an awakening. This card can tie to evaluation, mission, rebirth, action, amongst the other things that I've already called out. So confirm this Judgment energy. Okay, yeah, this is some type of new beginning here. That may be tied to like some type of something that you're committed to. Whether it's tied to your work, whether it's tied to relationships, whether it's tied to yourself, like who you are, how you want your life to be. You know, like it really all depends on who you are, how the message is going to be. So just take what resonates. But this may be something that's so new to you that you've never experienced it before. Like this may be something that's literally unknown. But I feel like it's some type of opportunity here. All right, this is a card of spontaneous or spontaneity, adventure, idealistic, potential, carefree, setting out, new beginnings, okay? A free spirit here. All right, and it also says dedication to the craft, detailed, specialty, sticking to it, self-employed, achievement, mastery. So yeah, I feel like maybe you guys made some type of decision in your life. Maybe this is going to take forgiveness. Maybe in order to make this decision, there had to be forgiveness. Maybe you're experiencing some type of rebirth. Makes sense because the Death card did come out. So this can be internal and external change. Okay, Libra energy is here, Aquarius, Virgo. Alrighty. So just continue to elevate and grow. All right. This is going to be something that you're going to actually have to be committed to. You're going to have to be committed to growth, development. This is not something that you can just magically ask to come into your life. Like, it takes you actually deciding to heal, deciding to choose what's better for you, deciding to. So maybe some of you guys already made that choice and decision, and now you're coming into this awakening, or before you came into an awakening which led you to making this type of decision. Okay, there's something that requires action, or there's something that you took action on, and now you're experiencing this new beginning. So you've experienced the ending already, right? Or maybe you're soon going to be experiencing the ending, but then a new beginning is going to follow, because remember, endings do bring new beginnings. Okay, so yeah, period. The World came out, so that's the ending energy. The Fool came out, that's the new beginning energy. The Death is here, that's the it's in the upright, so that's the external change energy. But remember, confirming the other energies we had, it confirmed that it can also be internal. So there's internal, external change, endings that bring new beginnings, and judgment, a wake-up call, or you deciding on something, making a decision, being decisive, taking action on something, forgiving, coming into an awakening. Okay? And I feel like it took dedication, it took hard work, and I feel like the things that you've experienced in your life, whether it was good or not so good, it's allowing you to become an expert at something. Okay, once again, whether it's financial beginnings, romantic beginnings, whatever it is, you're literally becoming an expert at something. Like, I'm seeing mastery here. You're mastering something if you haven't already. Or whatever this external change is, it's going to bring forth this type of energy. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. Any last messages? Knight of Coins. Period. You could be you could be someone that's connected to nature. It could be some type of earth sign, which is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. You could be someone that's hardworking, responsible, conservative, practical, protective, defensive, persistent, stubborn, patient, loyal. All right. Right now, you could be in the how there's speed, right? How somebody is moving with speed. I feel like right now you're probably moving in a slow pace, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, or maybe in your life it seems that things are kind of going slow. Okay. But yeah, don't worry. Oh, I'm getting it. Don't worry about a thing. Yeah, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Period. Any last messages? We got the King of Cups coming out in reverse. I told y'all was dealing with people who was emotionally immature. Maybe this is you, because sometimes we have cross watchers that come in and try to watch readings for other people. So we ain't giving them a good energy to. We're not giving them the space to feel good and energy that they're not in. So you could have been dealing with somebody who was emotionally immature. King of Cups in reverse. But it's funny because the King of Cups came out in upright earlier. So I feel like you could be a King of Cups, or you're attracting a King of Cups. And the King of Cups energy, it's not to say, oh, you're not an Empress or an Emperor. It's just to say this is like your character, or we're talking about a person, or we're talking about characteristics of a person. So you could have been dealing with somebody who was overly emotional. Maybe you're an overly emotional person, which I would just say maybe. I feel like depending on who you are, there's positive and negative connotations to things, right? So for me, if I look at this as me, of course, I won't think of it in a negative way. But if I look at it towards like a narcissist, then I'll probably look at it in like a negative way, right? So just take it how it resonates, all right? You could have been dealing with somebody who was very manipulative, moody. They probably repressed their emotions, probably were emotionally withdrawn, weren't able to really love you how they should have, okay? You could be focused on inner feelings right now, or something about that is significant. But yeah, you probably were dealing with somebody who was emotionally unavailable. So when you throw this person away, you're going to attract somebody who's giving King of Cups in the upright, which is basically somebody who's mastered emotions, right? They're emotionally balanced, they're heart-centered, kind-hearted. We said this earlier. All right, very highly intuitive, self-aware, diplomatic, artistic, psychic, and they're all about feeling, right? They're not somebody that's numb and a lost soul and has a void on the inside. But first, you gotta allow them to have a chance to come in your life. If you out here still dealing with little boo boo, how are they gonna be able to come into your life? That means your heart is already focused on someone else, right? And if you're a person that's like a one woman kind of gal, or whatever the case may be, then you will be most definitely probably focused on that person. It's not good for you. Constantly pouring your energy, time, and resources and love into a person that you're literally not getting the energy reciprocated from. This is someone who you're going to get that energy reciprocated from. So first you got to throw away little boo-boo and, heal, of course. You can't just get out of one connection and get into another one. Like, you have to heal so you can be actually equipped to be in this person's energy, and so that you can come back into that space, right? I'm not saying it's going to take several years to get there, but sometimes you need to allow yourself to detach from that past person romantically, whatever the case may be, and to heal from like the stuff they've done to you, like move forward from it and forgive, so that there's no trauma, or so that you're not allowing a wound that, bleed over into another connection that didn't hurt you and don't plan on hurting you, so you can be more tapped in with your intuition and aligned within your heart space and stuff like that. But once again, this can tie to many, many things, but that's pretty much the message that I'm seeing, and I feel like that's pretty much all. I keep asking what's the last final messages, but that's pretty much it. So yeah. So for some of you guys, it's time to a relationship, but a true love connection. Not that toxic, unrequited love shit, okay? Others of y'all, ooh, you got a little baby on the way. Oh my gosh. And it's going to be something that's going to change your life for the better. All right? Even if it's looking like a disaster, even if you don't have the support team, even if you have the worst baby father in the world, I'm telling you. You see Sky Jackson, Halle Bailey, Keke Palmer, they're famous, right? So this is people that we know their lives. A lot of people you probably wouldn't really know too much unless they come on YouTube or something and share it with you. So we actually see these ladies who are good people. At least I think they are. I don't know them, but they go through things like we do as well, and it's being broadcast, and they have their own baby daddy drama too. So they got their restraining orders, honey. So I mean, it don't have to be perfect. Not everybody has the most perfect baby father. If you think about your dad and your mom, you probably didn't have the best dad, okay? That means your mom was settling for less. But you still came out into the world to become a blessing, So just look at things from a different spectrum, especially if you actually do want to have a child. Like, just think about that. Aside from that, for others of you, this is time to financial beginnings, right? We already talked about the romantic beginnings, the beginnings within childbirth. Now we're talking about financial. So for some of you guys, this is something that maybe is entrepreneurial. Maybe this is something that ties to being like dedicated. Maybe this is something that you're going to be working on until you like master it, or maybe you've mastered something. But yeah, I'm seeing some type of offer come in and happen for you. All right. Maybe the 9 to 5s didn't work. Maybe, I don't know, hell, your life better than I do. So it's like there is like a new beginning, because as we said, the main idea of everything was external change, endings, and new beginnings, right? For others of you, there's more I can say about the financial situation, but that's just like summarizing everything up. The other situation was a death in the family, right? You're not ruined. God is not picking on you. Everything happens in divine timing, okay? Oh, your mom passed, your dad passed. I am so sorry that happened. But It was just their time. But you got to remember that you also have your own individual life, and you can't allow things to hold you back. Regardless of whatever your life is, whatever this is talking about, know that patience is key, and having a long-term view is key. Okay? Endings bring new beginnings. Make sure you're some of you guys made a decision and it's going to lead you to a new beginning, or you're being encouraged to make some type of decision that's going to lead you into a new beginning. All right, this is an opportunity. Okay? But yeah, you guys take care. Okay, if you want to get your own personal reading, because this was a collective, it wasn't a personal. You know, that's why I like to say take only what resonates for you. Okay? But so that you know that a message was truly for you, is truly for you, you can always get on the list. If you can't afford my prices, I do have deals and sales going on. It's lifelong. It's not just for this month, okay? Called donation-based readings, meaning if you can't afford my readings, mentorships, whatever I do, right? You can get it at a discounted price for whatever you're able to afford, okay? So before I get out of here, if you want to comment down below to let me know that you're wanting to get on the list or you're going to get on the list, you can let me know now. I also do private readings and sessions, so if you don't want it on live, I do grant those. Okay, I also have free consultations if you guys want to know more about my services. Okay, don't forget to check out my other platforms. I do have a website. Everything is in my link above. Sometimes my name may change, so make sure you follow me. I do have a backup account, but there are other scam pages of me. I try to block them all and remove them, but just keep that in mind. I think I tagged my backup account. Sometimes I tag them in my videos that I post. Sometimes I think it's in my link tree. But yeah, make sure you just keep up with my account or my names, or specifically my link tree, because that's never going to change. Okay, my names may change, but the link tree will never change, right? But the most easiest way that you can go about it is to just give me a follow. All right, I do have YouTube, I do have Instagram. I'm trying to grow out my Instagram, so if you want to give me a follow on my Instagram, that'll be great. Okay, if you want to send in gifts, anything like that, I appreciate y'all for double tapping the screen. Then yeah, all is welcome. Roses, galaxies, whatever it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of live. I hope that you receive this message in the way that it's meant to be received, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your lifetime. It's possible. Okay, returning your energy back to you and releasing my energy back to me. And yeah, take care. And if you want to get on the list but I already ended the live, just DM me. Okay, everybody is able to DM me. Bye. Oh, and if you have any advice that you want, I give free advice. You know, why not? I give it for free. All right. Anyways.